Hello, my name is Maureen Collins and I'm currently the project manager of the Pink Ladies Cancer Support Group. I'm very proud and delighted to say that I have been on this journey with the organisation since its very birth and initiation, and we celebrate our 15th birthday now on the 23rd of May 2020. The Pink Ladies Cancer Support Group was set up in a direct response to a high diagnosis of breast cancer within the Bogside and Brandywell area, and 15 years on we have now expanded across the Derry City Strabane District Council area, Coleraine, Limavady, Castleclerc. We operate in small rural areas which could be known as small cold spots, areas that don't have a lot of services or difficulty getting access to services because they are so rural and remote, and we have been able to bring and introduce our services into those areas. I believe that for the first time in 15 years we have found ourselves in the middle of COVID-19, a pandemic that none of us could have been trained on. There's no handbook on, there's no textbook on, and we weren't able to do any research. But what we did was, as we can do, and as we are now confident in, we have been able to continue to deliver a range of our services, and we want you to know about the services and about what is still available. We are still operating, okay, we are still operating under lockdown, but we are still able to manage to deliver a range of services. And what I would like to do now is invite you to meet the team, introduce you to the rest of the team, and they will tell you what their area of expertise is and how you can get in touch with to find out more. What I would say to all our members, their families, server users, and the wider general public and community is stay safe, stay home, and stay well. Don't become too relaxed, don't become too complacent. We are still in COVID-19. Together we can get through this. Stay strong. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Michelle and I'm the development worker at the Pink Ladies Cancer Support Group. My role is to help and support anyone that has had a cancer diagnosis, not just that person but their entire family circle. Also supporting carers, and that is carers of anyone with a life-limiting illness. I also source and secure funding to design health and wellbeing programmes taking into account people's mental health, physical health and also social wellbeing. I also deliver an education programme which is early detection and signs and symptoms of different various types of cancer. We do this through schools, community workplaces and just anywhere where anybody would like to avail of them. I also provide listening ear services and support services to those who would wish to avail of them. And I also am a community breastfeeder, so that means that I am able to be mobile and go to people's home and get them fitted for their bra, and I suppose that's the beauty of the service, is that we can do it from the comfort of your own home. I'd just like to wish you all well, and I hope that you are staying connected, staying safe and staying well.
Hey everyone, Martin here. I am an admin and support worker for the Pink Ladies, Pink Panthers Cancer Support Group based in the Gas Yard, and I deliver meal awareness, meal support group once a month, and I am quite an advocate to talk about mental health because guys, we all need to talk about it.
Hey, my name is Jackie Loprey. I'm the Education and Prevention Officer with the Pink Ladies Cancer Support Group. My job as the Prevention Officer is to look at how we can reduce our risk to a reoccurrence of cancer and look at our everyday exposure in terms of personal skin care, food packaging, and giving advice about diet, nutrition, and generally how to boost our immune system and protect ourselves from a cancer reoccurrence.
Hello, my name is Sean Mckinney. I am the Media and Communications Officer for the Pink Ladies Cancer Support Group. Over the last few weeks, I have worked closely with the team, creating videos around education, awareness and prevention, and more recently, mental health. So when these videos come out, please leave a comment and let me know your thoughts. And if you have any queries or any videos that you would like the Pink Ladies to create in the future, please let us know. Thank you so much, and I hope you all are staying safe through this pandemic.
Hi, my name is Jackie Loprey. I'm the Education and Prevention Officer with the Pink Ladies Cancer Support Group, and I'm here today with one of our volunteers, Lorraine Tully. Lorraine.
Hello, as Jackie said, my name is Lorraine Tully and I am a volunteer with the Pink Ladies. I got involved with the Pink Ladies because of personal circumstances where my daughter was diagnosed with a childhood cancer when she was 1. After she got into remission, I found the Pink Ladies and I now are part of their prevention awareness nutrition team. And a lot of what we do is about educating people how to prevent or try to prevent certain types of cancer.
So Lorraine, what are we making here today?
So Jackie, today we're going to make a blueberry smoothie.
Lovely. What's the health benefits of a blueberry smoothie?
So the blueberry smoothie is very good for your immune system. It'll help boost your immune system, but it's also packed with vitamins and minerals.
Great. Well, Lorraine, we're going to make a blueberry smoothie, so I would assume that the first ingredient is going to be blueberries.
That is, Jackie, yes. We're going to put on a cup of frozen blueberries. You can use fresh or frozen, it's entirely up to yourself. I use frozen just because they're more cost effective.
Okay.
And they are still packed full of antioxidants.
Great.
We're going to put on a couple of tablespoons of natural yogurt, not Greek style, just natural. We're going to put on approximately 100 ml of almond milk, unsweetened. A handful of organic spinach.
It's important to have the organic spinach then, Lorraine.
It is. I choose organic simply because I want to reduce the amount of pesticides and herbicides that is going on to the body.
Yep. Okay.
Beetroot, which has been peeled.
Alright, and the beetroot, what would be the health benefits of beetroot?
So beetroot's packed full of vitamins and minerals, but it's also very good for reducing or maintaining your blood pressure.
Excellent, okay.
A teaspoon of organic honey.
Lorraine, is this the honey that we sent out in the packs?
It is, Jackie.
And a fun fact about that is it's actually Mckinney honey, which is made locally, so we can use that, which is great.
Brilliant. I support the local. We're also going to put on some celery, 2 stalks of celery chopped up.
Okay.
Brilliant for cell rejuvenation and for rehydration.
Great.
And some kiwi fruit just to add a bit of flavour.
Alright. And Lorraine, the flax seeds, is this an optional?
I'm putting on that just because I have it there. You can use it or not use it. It's entirely up to yourself. It has got nutrients and vitamins on it.
Yeah.
But like I say, it's optional. You choose whether to put it on or not.
Okay. Lorraine, we have all our ingredients here measured out in front of us. So what exactly now do I need to make the smoothie?
Alright, so the equipment that you're going to need, Jackie, is you're going to need a blender first of all. Now, as you can see, mine is a dual. But you can just have a standalone blender or a Nutribullet, that works fine. You're going to need a sharp knife, a chopping board for chopping, and just something that you can measure. I'm using measuring cups to measure out a cup of blueberries. The equivalent will be around 250 ml. So just something you can measure on.
Right, so now we have all our ingredients measured and lined up. We've got our utensils, we've got our blender ready. So how do you actually make it? Do you use any particular order, or?
Jackie, it couldn't be simpler. I'm going to start by putting on the blueberries first. It's just my preference. You can do this in whatever order you choose to do it in, it's fine. So we'll put on a couple of blueberries. That's our antioxidants and our B vitamins.
Excellent.
And we're going to put on our chopped up celery that we know is brilliant for rehydration. We're putting on some kiwi just for flavour.
That just sweetens it up a little
Just
bit.
gives it a bit of sweetness, that's right, Jackie. Our 2 beetroots, again, full of vitamins and minerals. We'll put on, I'm just going to put on, a handful of spinach.
Very fresh.
That's enough.
Nice fresh.
Nice fresh organic.
Yeah.
Great again for your B vitamins and vitamin K as well. Put on a teaspoon or so. This is fine, just whatever
And it doesn't really matter what order, you can just put this on.
Whatever way you choose. You'll just find your own way
Yeah.
of doing it.
You can't really go wrong, can you, Lorraine?
You can't, not at all. I'm putting on about 3 heaped tablespoons of the natural yogurt.
Okay, we've got a dairy there.
There is. We're going to put on about 2 teaspoons of our local honey.
Yeah,
Jackie.
I know. It actually tastes very different from any honey that I've had before. It does, it's lovely.
And then about 100 ml of unsweetened almond milk. This is just to really blend it all together, so don't be too if it's too thick for you, just add more.
Okay. So that's just really your own preference?
It is, what way you prefer to have it. I like it nice and smooth. That's it, we're just going to switch it on now.
So at that point, if it's a wee bit thick and you wanted to add more, you can just pour more onto the top. Do you want to just,
You can.
it looks a bit just.
Add on as you go along then. It's better too thick than too thin, you can just add them as you go. Just check that and see.
Well, Lorraine, that was quick. So it's all blended. Now are we ready to drink it?
That's it, Jackie. We've just taken the top off the blender now and it's ready to pour. The consistency is alright.
It's very, very thick. I can imagine if you wanted it smoother, then you just add the more almond.
Just add more almond and blend it a wee bit longer.
Okay.
And that'll, if you don't like it in any way, not better that, just blend it that bit longer and it'll be as smooth as you want.
Okay. Well, Lorraine, that was quick. So it's all blended. Now are we ready to drink it?
That's it, Jackie. We've just taken the top off the blender now and it's ready to pour. The consistency is alright.
It's very, very thick. I can imagine if you wanted it smoother, then you just add the more almond.
Just add more almond and blend it a wee bit longer.
Okay.
And that'll, if you don't like it in any way, not better that, just blend it that bit longer and it'll be as smooth as you want.
Okay. So we're going to have a drink of it now, Lorraine.
Going to try it now, Jackie. Aye, that's it done. As you can see, it takes no time at all to do it. Just let the buds here.
You can really smell the celery.
Be careful with celery.
Mm-hmm.
It's so strong, so potent. That's only 2 stalks. It's gone onto that, and like you say, you can't smell it. You can't really taste it as such.
Delicious, Lorraine.
It's lovely.
Absolutely delicious.
Just another wee thing you can do is you could buy like the ice bowl containers, just fill them for the kids and stick them in the freezer. They're lovely, so they are, and you can get them on Amazon and to BPA free and dishwasher safe and just nice in a hot day to help, and it's healthy alternatives for them, and they love doing it as well.
Excellent. Cheers, Lorraine.
Cheers, Jackie.
Hello, Pink Ladies, Pink Panthers, anyone else who happens to be watching this video. I'm Abby, and I'm going to be here with you now for the next 20-25 minutes or so. I'm just doing a little bit of uplifting poetry. I'm going to do some of my own stuff, and then a couple of poems by other writers, such as Maya Angelou and Liesl Mueller. Doesn't that sound great? What a bit of a nightmare time it's been for, well, the whole world really. It's been very, very stressful, and I appreciate that a lot of yous out there You're going to be feeling really stressed and worried and kind of climbing the walls a wee bit with the isolation at this point. So what I hope that this video is going to do for you is just give you a little excuse to go make a cup of tea and bring it back and lie down on your couch or on your bed or whatever and just take a wee 20-25 minutes to yourself to relax and have a wee smile or a wee laugh, and hopefully you'll find it uplifting. So here we'll start with the first one. Enjoy. Me da walks me through the tiny veg patch out back of the flats that he has cultivated for over a quarter century. The garden that's grown with me like a sibling stranger. There's enough food here to share for a year, and plot lines abundant for 100 soap opera scripts. The sheer scandal among these drills is unreal, me da says. The onions choked the carrots for sneaking into bed with the garlic. The tatties have thrived by turning a blind eye to the antics. Big Rosemary said she'd day time for the parsley and chives, while wee Sage just wants to cleanse the negative vibes, man, and a squash who watched it all kick off is traumatised, hence stunted growth. In 5 wide strides across, there are chapters versus verses. Entire worlds and universes, series, features and trilogies. Gardeners know the meaning of being supreme creator. And when Da speaks these stories into existence, his expression is one of a brown-skinned Saint Nick, all the way down to the tinge pink nose. These memories bring laughs that I don't even need to force. That means my core is invincible summer still. As cocooned in a chrysalis of cataclysms as I now feel, there's plenty space to grow and bloom still. A song sings on repeat from the darkness. Our words have power and magic in the mind, the direction they point you in. And I'm reminded, cocoons are incubators, not prisons. Both night and day raised the hay. Gareth, bugging out in some secret location, says preservation, not isolation. And I feel another poem kicking. This morning, in this state of deep rest, not depressed, I grew a short film script from scraps in my imagination. I don't even give a shit how good it is it exists, and its existence is indicative of a good harvest. When I finally get back to Manannan at Gortmore, I'll bring the sketchbook and watercolours. I'll paint the very eye of that eternal storm. I'll snort the entire Causeway Coast accidentally from breathing in so deep, and stretch my arms and conduct waves and take up space when I dance. I'll add this notion to the bucket list. There's space abundant for chapters and verses, series, features, trilogies, 100,000 years worth of stories. Listen. Is it just me? Or have the birds in that crabapple tree fierce learned to sing? This next poem I'm going to read for you is one of my favourite Maya Angelou poems, and it's called Phenomenal Woman. And so many of us are just phenomenal women, and we don't celebrate it half enough. So this poem is just a poem where she celebrates being damn phenomenal and has absolutely no shame in doing so. So here you go. Pretty women wonder just where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model size, but when I start to tell them, they think I'm telling lies. I say, it's in the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the stride in my step, the curl of my lips. I'm a woman, phenomenally. Phenomenal woman, that's me. I walk into a room just as cool as you please. And to a man the fellas stand or fall down on their knees. Then they swarm around me like a hive of honey bees, and I say, it's the fire in my eyes and the flash of my teeth, the swing in my waist and the joy in my feet. I'm a woman, phenomenally. Phenomenal woman, that's me. Men themselves have wondered just what they see in me. They try so much, but they can't touch my inner mystery. And when I try to show them, they say they still can't see. And I say, it's in the arch of my back, the sun of my smile, the ride of my breasts, the grace in my style. I'm a woman, phenomenally. Phenomenal woman, that's me. Now you understand just why my head's not bowed. I don't shout or jump about or have to talk real loud. When you see me passing, it ought to make you proud. I say, it's in the click of my heels, the bend of my hair, the palm of my hand, the need of my care, because I'm a woman, phenomenally. Phenomenal woman, that's me. And that's you too. Now, I'm sure none of you innocent, clean-living critters out there have ever drank poachine, bought poachine, but anyway, I thought I might do this one for you and maybe give you a little bit of a laugh. It's called Poaching, and it's about getting a wee bit too steaming on poaching. And I'm not talking about the type of poaching that you buy legally in the shops for the tourists. No, 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 no. This is about the type of poaching that you go into deepest, darkest Donegal and meet some mysterious character coming out of a car who melts back into the darkness once you make the purchase. It's about that type of poaching. I'll tell you what's fake news, said he. What? Says I. Australia, says he. Now we're on our backs in a field near a border town. Fat moon on black sky, the cocky silver plough lucid among the spatters of celestial spray paint and everything. Tourism NI would love this. We could be the faces of a brand new nationwide campaign, only we're both pished on illegal poaching, purchased from marchings, mammies, uncles, best pals, brothers, wee girls, osteopath from Iskahi. Now mind, just don't go blind, she'd said when she handed us the potion on this old halting come dogging sight at 2 o'clock one morning, and oh, how we laughed. And she didn't. She said, the first bottle of poaching in Ireland was made by St. Patrick one night when he drank the wine cellar dry, and sure look what happened to him. Sure, didn't he start tripping balls and seeing snakes and slaughtering rings round him until he came to 4 mornings later and saw that the snakes were, in fact, the entire native pagan population of the island? Yous don't need that in your lives, kids. And then she melted back into the darkness in her hooded black pashmina. Daniel Day-Lewis floats by us wearing this chunky knit balaclava, looking the number to Marcin's mammy's uncle's best pal's brother's wee girl's osteopath from Iskaheen's burner phone. But he's not the 7th son of a 7th son, so we don't give it to him. Daniel warns that if I keep using metaphors like celestial spray paint, then I'll continue attracting every space cadet in orbit for the rest of my days. Australia's fake, I'm telling you, my mate says. No, but wait, how long? I've been there. My mates Joe and Anya live there. Your mates Joe and Anya are actors, paid by NASA. And for a second, I consider it. That's when it hits me. Like wee Ralphie in that one movie, A Christmas Story, when he finally, inevitably shoots out his own eye, we have finally, inevitably, lost our goddamn minds to the potchie. This night of pure purgatory ensues, involving crazed pagan snakes, a demented St. Patrick eyeballing us from the sky until daybreak, wondering how the CIA might go about faking an entire continent while the latent murderers within us wait on one more drop of potchine to waken them. Only by the skin of our sanity did we make it back to normality. To Theresa May, still believing that Wheatfield's the maddest thing she ever did see. To Trump, planning some kind of militarised space force by 2020. And oh look, Jerry Adams is writing a cookbook, a sort of a culinary journey through the conflict. And when we fall asleep, we fall wondering just how well they all know Marcin's mammy's uncle's best pal's brother's wee girl's osteopath from Iskaheen. Why We Tell Stories by Liesl Mueller. 1. Because we used to have leaves, and on damp days our muscles feel a tug, painful now, from when roots pulled us into the ground. And because our children believe they can fly, an instinct retained from when the bones in our arms were shaped like zithers and broke neatly under their feathers. And because before we had lungs, we knew how far it was to the bottom as we floated open-eyed like painted scarves through the scenery of dreams. And because we awakened and learned to speak. 2. We sat by the fire in our caves, and because we were poor, we made up a tale about a treasure mountain that would open only for us. And because we were always defeated, we invented impossible riddles only we could solve, monsters only we could kill, women who could love no one else. And because we had survived, sisters and brothers, daughters and sons, we discovered bones that rose from the dark earth and sang as white birds in the trees. 3. Because the story of our life becomes our life. Because each of us tells the same story, but tells it differently. And none of us tells it the same way twice. Because grandmothers looking like spiders want to enchant the children. And grandfathers need to convince us that what happened because of them. And though we listen only haphazardly, with one ear, we will begin our story with the word "and." Ghost Light by Abby Oliveira. In Venice, the rancid canals are clear for the first time in 60-odd years. There's fish and oblivious dolphins and ducks swimming in Roman fountains, and how I wish we could swap places. But hi, humans, this is no time to hate the skin we're in. More a friend request, an offering of breath, of quiet observation, of collective remembering. This is what I tell myself when coping is all there is. Even the whispering wood we retreat to in spring is mimicking the shrieks of kids climbing trees, scraping knees, getting good clothes filthy, being free. The beach is triage for the spirit today. The hospitals as haunted as supermarkets. We sit 3 meters distant on the rocks, looking out towards Scotland, talking about how you just knew there was volumes to be written about us months before I even knew you were a thing. Human touch has infinite translations. And when my sister rings in terror, I know it's her before I look at the phone. We reach out in many more ways than one. She melts down. Lockdown, army docked in the harbour, our niece caught a cough, her seasonal hay fever dropped, and in the shop her neighbours looked like they'd happily murder her for absent-mindedly clearing her throat, then carried her bags home. We hang up in fits of laughter because Bono has already written the charity single for our futures, it seems. I should pitch this damn phone into the sea. But I need to be in touch. For when the ghost lights go off, and everyone returns, and the shows go on, this is a spoken word piece called Dandelion, and it's dedicated to everybody trying to come through a tough time in their life. Consider this a wee poetic hug from me to you. You are a dandelion, my friend. You bring light in. This has always been your nature. You grew out in the backwoods, nurtured by burnt earth and beer tins, karaoke machines and discarded roaches, and though most of the estate didn't know it back then, girl, you are medicine. Put here to help heal the sickness, where all talk of living is silence to allow folk to die in peace, believing themselves to be only weeds. This is where you learn to be an artist, where you ripped up that concrete like Andy Dufresne, spent every day chipping away at those condemned walls with paintbrushes and needles, threaded like your life depended on it because it did. Our kind, we don't just scribble for amusement. Our kind, we learned to do this by writing our own lifeline since we were kids. Saw characters inhabiting other worlds and patches of ripped wood chip next to our beds. We learned to storytell, while our mothers broke ornaments and promises not to hurt themselves. Yet, girl, there will always be those who only want to focus on our grammar, our proud use of the vernacular, our bad syntax. They will not know about the tiny porch you turned into a workshop and dreamed. of playing Budokan in college, learning to stilt walk and dream. The part-time hours away singing as you cleaned, you dreamed and planted hanging baskets and painted glass, even as that bastard punched harder for every flower in your cap, knowing rightly that not even this jungle could hold you back. And just like seeds don't know what kind of flowers they'll grow up to be, so you might never see the butterfly effects of all your courage. Have faith, my friend. They may sprout in the most contentious, the most bitter of places, and then, like you, they will thrive in the worst soil, like the best wine. I hope that you enjoyed those poems and that they gave you a little bit of a chance to take 20 minutes or so to yourself today, just to lie back and relax, and hopefully they gave you a little bit of a lift. I wish you all the very best, and sure, we'll get through this, folks. We will. We will see each other all again very soon.
My name is Margaret Cassidy, and this is a poem called Memory Coats. The red coat hangs on its wooden hanger over the top of the door. It's a double-breasted woolen coat with a muffle to match. A special coat, a Christmas Day coat, and it flares out to below my knees. When it graces my body, I pose and twirl and walk on air. The red rich material cloaks my childhood body to keep the cold of winter out and bring warmth and safety in. It's a happy coat, a statement coat. It's my loved and cared for coat. The fur coat lies on top of our bed. It's a fawn-coloured patchy mildew over the bed coat, purchased from the ragman. It's a much fought over coat, as my siblings and I fight all the time over its ownership, hence all the patches. It's an adventurous coat as it travels from room to room and bed to bed. It's a winter warmer coat, a tickle your nose coat, an arm and a leg coat, as my mammy says it cost her a fortune. It's a dead old woman's coat, I think. A brown duffel coat hangs carelessly on a hook in our back hall. It's a musty, dusty duffel coat, a worn coat. I've danced through puddles, played marbles, wiped my nose on its sleeves, slid in the snow, carried stones, and weak old fluffy gums in the pockets. It's my devilment coat, an everything coat, my wonder coat, filled with childhood games and merriment. It's my best coat by far. My navy blue anorak lies defiantly on the floor of our bedroom. It's my teenage coat, and it covers my self-conscious, pubescent body and stirrings of sexual feelings towards the opposite sex. It's my cocky, independent coat, my want to break free coat, I want to be taken seriously coat, my talk back and run coat, I want to do my own thing coat, I want to break the rules coat. It's my I want coat. One grey shapeless baggy coat hangs on the coat stand. It's my put me last coat, and it covers the changes of motherhood from the slim to the swollen belly. It's my thin, fat coat, the tired coat, the school run coat, the hospital coat, the shopping coat, the protector coat, the wipe the tears away coat, the hold on tight coat, the hide and seek coat, the no money coat. It's the spring of my life coat, and yet it's my most invisible coat. A beautiful, elegant tapestry coat hangs proudly in the wardrobe. It's an acceptance coat, a wisdom coat, and when I put it on, it falls gently into the curves of my body. It's a contented coat, and it does not need much maintenance. It's a strong mammy coat, a happy nana coat, a good friend coat, a strive to do better coat. My me time coat. It's the autumn of my life coat, and I'm looking forward to wearing the winter of my life coat. My father's hands. Hands that built boats with his father as a boy. Hands that carried guns and comrades in a senseless war. Hands that teased our baby hair into curls. Hands that soothed away our childhood ills. Hands that toiled on England's building sites. Short, thick, blistered blight. Hands with spit as he drove his spade into the clay. Hands with beaded rosary as he knelt to pray. Hands that shook with the passing of time, still managed to catch our adult tears. Hands now cold and still pressed on his chest as we closed his coffin and laid him to rest. Recycling. I'm all for this recycling business, but God, it has my nerves wrecked. I have bins lined up in my backyard and they're taking over it. There's the black bin, the blue bin, a wee brown bin, and a weir brown bin. Inside my back hall I have a black swing bin, a blue swing bin, and a wee grey pedal bin that I put the biodegradable food bag into. When the black swing bin is full, it gets emptied into the big black bin. When the blue swing bin is full, it gets emptied into the big blue bin. And when the pedal bin is full, it gets emptied into the wee brown bin. And then when that's full, it gets emptied into the bigger wee brown bin. Now you have to be careful what goes into the blue recycling bin. Empty food cartons have to be washed and dried, as does milk and juice cartons, and tins and glass bottles. Cardboard has to be cut up, as you can't get a big cardboard box to fit into it. My draining board has more food cartons drying than dishes. So on one of those nice sunny days, I decided to peg them out in the clothesline to free up the draining board. Imagine my disgust when a flock of seagulls flew overhead and shit all over the nice clean cartons, and I had to repeat the whole process all over again. The window cleaner came round that day, and seeing all the empty cartons pegged out in the line, he decided to tell my neighbours he thought I was going a wee bit too lally. And as I had food cartons on the line instead of clothes, I'm now getting sympathetic nods from everybody that I meet in the street. Then there's the whole drama of the blue bins on the day of collection. You can hear the clink of bottles piling into the lorry. Some blue bins have a bigger clink than others. And I thought, you drink more wine than me. As my clink isn't as big as your clink. One week I had the perfect blue bin. It was all nice clean cartons. The cardboard was cut into perfect squares. My wee see-through windows on the envelopes was taken out of it, and I was all lerb with it. But, unbeknown to me, my son, who had been saving up 6 months of beer bottles for a project, decided to abandon it and piled all the bottles into my nice blue bin, which resulted in my bin having the biggest clink you ever heard. It reverberated all over the estate. I was mortified. Curtains were twitching all over the street at the sound of it. So now not only am I too lally, but my consumption of alcohol far outweighs all my neighbours. The blue bin can take fabrics, so I decided to clear out my knicker drawer and dispose of the old knickers into the blue bin, which was quite full. So after a wee while I thought to myself, Jeekers, What if the bin men inspect the bin and seeing all my knickers call over all the other bin men and they have a good laugh at them? So I got the scissors and cut the gussets off them to disguise them. And then I opened the black bin and threw the gussets in there. Now the wheelie bin men had been round that day and had just washed the black bin. And there is always a wee residue of suds at the bottom. So the gussets all stuck to the bottom of the bin. And then I thought to myself again, what if when that bin gets emptied, the gussets are still stuck to the bottom when the bin gets emptied? And when the wheelie bin men come to wash it, they see my gussets, and then they start laughing, and then they tell everybody. So I climbed into the bin to retrieve them, and I got stuck. As I was slipping up and down, I couldn't get out. So I called to the son, "Son! Son! I'm stuck in the bin. Come and help me out." He tried his best to get me out, but I was laughing so much. Then he lost the head with me and tipped the bin onto the side to the ground, and I landed with a thud. The gussets flew out of my hand. I crawled out of that bin on all fours with the gussets stuck to my hair and face. The son looked at me with disgust and walked away. Now I came home the next day to be greeted with a big brown bin with a green lid. There was a wind blowing, and the lid kept popping up and down. I swear it was sneering at me. I read the attached leaflet with it. It takes grass cuttings, spent flowers, small twigs and hedging, weeds and cold ashes. That night, after a wee glass of wine, or two, or maybe more, I called the son. "Son! Son! See when I die, get me cremated and put my ashes into that big brown bin, because this recycling business is going to be the death of me." And then I thought, I'm going to be the ultimate recycler. And sure as God, I could turn up in your garden as a wee bag of compost. Mommy. Mommy liked to drink and borrow fur coats for weddings. On one such occasion, Brandy the dog was mistakenly mistaken for her auntie's coney fur. Mommy draped it round her shoulders, then the coney started barking. Mommy thought she had the horrors, but it didn't stop her drinking.
Hello, my name's Claire Cregan and I'm doing a few poetry readings for you for the Gashard Fela. This first one I wrote in 2010 and it's called A Stranger Comes to Call. Some weeks ago, through medical doubt, I met someone I'd heard lots about. I never thought our paths would cross. Our meeting left me at a loss. I've had no contact with this guy. He picked me out. I wonder why. He's very sneaky, changes disguise. I've made small payments toward his demise. But he moves with statistic glee, and now he takes revenge on me. He's never redundant, nor on the dole. He violates your inner soul. He's sometimes slow and sometimes swift, but the net result is Satan's gift. What can I do now he's moved in? He's hurting now my next of kin. He has no compassion, no fear, no shame. It's no surprise. Cancer is his name. Worldwide, great efforts attack this thing, and wondrous improvements this will bring. They'll drain his strength, give him the sack. Once beaten, he'll have no way back. It may be too late for you or me, but we'll fight our corner as best can be. With help from my family and friends, with medical treatment and new trends, we'll do our best through smooth and rough to stay real positive, hanging tough. And maybe before our final breath, we may rejoice at cancer's death. This piece is titled Lapping from Lost Land to Lost Lands, and I wrote it when a lot of refugees were sailing through the Mediterranean and washing up on shores. Dolphins drowning in dirt we dread, whales withering in want we wail. But babies beached in betrayal, adults abandoned and alone, ergo, Europe eulogises with excuses, Facebook fawns and fancies, people procrastinate and prosper, governments govern gravely, churches coerce conscientiously. States stay silent but sing smugly. Press prevaricates and prospers. Men moan meaningfully. Women wail woefully. Children contemplate, confused. Answers are absent. Awry. Nothing notable is notarized. Refugees refuse respite. Where will we be when the West wasted these lives? Forget frugality. Shall we save souls and be salved? Fruitless October, which I hope is self-explanatory. Great hopes for a bumper harvest after years when the crop had failed. The harvester serviced, the barn cleared out. What joy lay in store. Nature's promise and a big fat lie. New life, new beginnings, no more. Why? Betrayal and defeat, now lifelong friends with anger and confusion. The list doesn't end. Clean out the field, purify the soil, hope for a better yield, and take your oil. Superstitions. I'm sure all of us have grown up familiar with a lot of age-old superstitions, like don't walk under a ladder, don't put shoes on the table, throw spilled salt over your shoulder, your left shoulder that is, don't open an umbrella indoors, and many more. But living in the 21st century has thrown up some new ones, like never break a chain message on Facebook as you will miss out on blessings and good fortune. You must like, comment and share or lots of evil will befall you. Never put your black bin out on a blue bin day or you will incur the wrath of the bin men. Always double check arrangements with your adult children or you will be diagnosed with dementia and shipped off to a nursing home of their choice. Reduce, reuse and recycle or become redundant. Do not accept an invitation to play Candy Crush, Cookie Jam, Gummy Drop or a host of other games. You will forfeit your mind. And lastly, remember, thin ice is just that. Thin ice. To finish on a lighter note, a little limerick. There once was a doctor from Brazil who prayed he'd never get ill. He passed without fuss on a Loxley bus. Now lies buried in Novell.
Women unchained, women unbound, women rising up from the underground. We are strong, don't faff around. We are strong, won't be put down. Rise up, rise up. It's the sound of the women unbound. Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. It's the sound of the women unbound.
Exploitation, a canker on the skins of babies, a wrong put right by a bam of pink ladies. Full-time workers, unpaid, volunteering, shining light into corners, resilient, persevering, because everyone is someone's child. To be loved and cherished, not abused or vilified. Our job, reuniting no matter colour or creed, taking back the exploited, denying the greed.
Women unchained, women unbound, women rising up from the underground.
Rise up,
Rise up, rise up, rise up. It's the sound of the women unbound.
Women unchained? Isn't it a pity? Denied a vote in Vatican City. Men have the power all of the time. Women are raped and charged with a crime. Isn't it degrading, defiling, appalling? Women undermined. Patriarchy shines.
Rise up, rise up, rise up. It's the sound of the women unbound. Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. It's the sound of the women unbound.
The Society of Pink Boots shook the industry to its roots. Beer brewing no longer has a gender, albeit the transition is still tender. Equality and sharing cause no pain and can be replicated again and again. Education is key. Raised to make tea, now we teach beer and celebrate women who brew quality drink for the masses, whose perfectly brewed ale, no longer the sole remit of the male, is winning, kicking asses at the point of sale.
Ooh, rise up, rise up. It's the sound of the women unbound. Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. It's the sound of the women unbound.
Pink Story Revolution, that is the Galata gang, fighting for women's rights on the barrier lines. India's women claim convictions as victims of rape that no violator should expect to escape. Bring me his head on a silver plate.
Ooh, rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. It's the sound of the women unbound. Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. It's the sound of the women unbound.
We raised up issues and stamped our feet, stamped the letters, walked the streets, carried our placards, pledged petitions, fought injustice. We accepted our mission.
Women unchained, women unbound, women rising up from the underground. Women free, don't faff around. We are strong, don't be put down. Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. It's the sound of the women unbound. Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. It's the sound of the women unbound.
Oh my goodness, that was absolutely amazing. That was class, actually. Maureen's really getting into it there. It's funny now because 3 of you are sitting down and the 2 that are standing up, you know, I'd say now when you're all standing up, you know, just rocking it out. Isn't it brilliant? It's really empowering. It must feel, Maureen, well, you're standing up now, Maureen. It must feel really empowering. Maureen, it does kind of, you know, God, like, oh my God, I'm getting scared now. What are you going to do next year?